Hey everybody, it's time for another Mini Mondays, and today I'm going to be doing a follow-up on BoJack Horseman's Season 4 that just got released in bulk on September 8th, 2017. So, unlike most other series where they drip-feed episodes over a week or a couple weeks, or like Steven Universe Never, this one was released all at once, so all 12 episodes came out on Netflix, which I think for this type of show, it works best, because anyone who watches this show is going to want to binge-watch the entire season. I'm not kidding. But anyway, if you want to know the details about the plot, the characters, good, bad stuff, like every other follow-up I've done, you can watch the review that I've already done on the series. It'll be in the description. So, and I also do want to put a fairly massive spoiler warning here, so if you haven't seen BoJack Horseman Season 4 and you're gonna watch it, don't watch this video yet, watch the season first and then come back. So anyway, a lot happened in this season. So there was the introduction of Hollyhock, who is supposedly BoJack's daughter, and part of the season is finding out if she is BoJack's daughter or not and who her mother is. Todd has this whole story with clown dentists, and he also comes out as definitively asexual, which I think is pretty cool. Princess Carolyn has a story as well about trying to get pregnant, and Diane has a story too about being with the website Girl Crush, and Mr. Peanut Butter has a story about becoming governor of California to beat Senator Woodchuck Coodchuck Berkowitz. So yeah, everybody's got their own stories going on, and I think out of all of them, the weakest is probably Todd's story, because it's not particularly engaging, but it is really funny, I'm not gonna lie. The whole clown dentist thing is pretty funny. Now, BoJack's story is great. The whole thing with his mother coming to live with him, the thing with Hollyhock is great. BoJack probably has the strongest story by far. I'd say Princess Carolyn comes in second because of her whole trying to have a baby and her breaking up with her boyfriend, who I actually really liked, and her firing Judah, who I really liked. You know, like, Princess Carolyn, her whole story just sucks. I mean, just like all the other seasons of BoJack, this season is a supreme downer, but this one is the biggest downer of all. Like, it's almost frightening how depressing it is. But anyway, Mr. Peanut Butter's governor story, I think, could have been funny, but unfortunately it kind of fizzled out at the end. It's like they had this big thing where on Twitter or on Facebook, and they were building up this whole governor story, and then it is kind of like, at the end, like nothing happened with the, even after the whole Jessica Biel and Katrina thing, it's like they just disappeared. In fact, a lot of people disappeared in this season, like, Anna Spanakopita is never mentioned once. Emily disappears after the first episode. It's just strange to see a bunch of people just totally disappear from the series. Although I suppose Wanda did that too in the other series, or the other seasons, so I guess it's not that uncommon. But, yeah, and Diane's story is probably the second weakest, just because she's kind of doing the same thing she's always been doing, just searching for controversy and, you know, getting tied up in controversial stuff, which isn't bad, but it's not super interesting in my opinion, just because it's kind of the same thing over and over again. So, like I said, this season has become so incredibly depressing. In a good way, though. I mean, in the good BoJack sense, in that it's extremely engaging because of how depressing it is. It still manages to be really funny, especially with Todd. He gets his own episode, and it's great. Todd is just, he's got that cute, funny face. He's so adorable. But everybody else, their stories are just such major downers. Like Princess Carolyn's story, BoJack's story with his mother, the whole backstory given to Beatrice is a supreme downer. And everybody in the season is just way more vulnerable than they were in the previous seasons. I mean, so many of them just break down and cry, and it's so miserable, but in a really engaging way. Like, if you want a show that won't make you want to kill yourself out of depression, I would say don't watch BoJack, and of course I don't mean literally, but you know, what I'm saying is that it's super, super sad. In fact, some of the episodes are downright frightening in how disturbing they are. They are actually disturbing, especially the second to last episode where it really delves into Beatrice's, that is BoJack's mother's, backstory. I'm serious, it's actually unsettling how, like, disturbing and unsettling mean the same thing, but it's really unsettling at just how messed up it is. So, of course I'm going to recommend BoJack Season 4 for you. I mean, I already praised the show to the moon and back, and it's even better in this season, so how could I not recommend it, you know? Only one episode, I would say, is maybe not as strong a candidate, and that would have to be the episode Underground. which is a lot more like the first season episodes where things are just spiraling out of control all the time, and, you know, these dumb situations keep stacking on top of each other. Not to say it's bad, I just think it's a little bit weaker than the other ones, but the scenes with Diane and BoJack really make it strong still. So yeah, there isn't a single episode in this season that's bad. Not by any means. Now, some people have asked me why I praise BoJack more than Rick and Morty. Now, I know this is getting off topic a little bit, but I just want to address this. So the reason I praise BoJack more than Rick and Morty, despite my supreme love for both of them, don't get me wrong, I adore Rick and Morty, but BoJack has a bit more of a mature attitude towards its own storytelling capabilities. So I did mention this in my Rick and Morty review. It's like, Rick and Morty, its creators are always bothered by the fact that they can tell these really interesting stories and set up these interesting characters. It's like they always have to be so ironic and aloof about it, and it's kind of frustrating. You just want them to play it straight for once. It's like, it's actually been really bad in season 3 where they just can't seem to play their own engaging story straight. Whereas BoJack knows how to keep it loose and keep it funny and still be sarcastic and ironic, but still take its own story seriously. It's obvious that the creators are really behind this story that's being told. So that's the reason why I praise BoJack a little bit more than Rick and Morty, is that, you know, it's like, Rick and Morty just can't take itself seriously, but BoJack definitely can. Now, I know that was a tangent, but I had no idea when I'd be able to tell that story again, so whatever. Anyway, yes, BoJack Season 4, I would recommend it, absolutely. It's on Netflix, the entire season is up, so you don't have to worry about week-to-week releases or anything like that. If you haven't watched BoJack already, what the hell are you doing here, listening to me spoil it for you? Go watch BoJack Horseman, I insist. And that's all I have to say about that.